Hello everyone, welcome to today's video and I'm your friend Bharat Shankar. In the year 2010, a person was traveling from Bangalore to Bandipur. But on the way, the driver demanded for more money than what was agreed before starting the journey. But the traveler refused to pay more money and the greedy driver was furious. And the driver threw the passenger out of the car and left him abandoned in the middle of the road. And this traveler was standing all alone in the middle of the road, completely helpless. And such kind of terrible experiences shock many people and it can make many people cry out of helplessness. But very few people drive motivation out of pain, helplessness and humiliation. And this helpless traveler standing in the middle of the road was one of those people. And this helpless traveler was Bhavish Aggarwal, and this terrible experience gave him a motivation to start a more reliable and satisfying cab service experience. And this is how India's one of the most successful startup company, Ola, was born. Founded in the year 2010, Ola became the market leader in the cab service in no time. And during this time period, renting a car was expensive and most of the people couldn't even afford it. And during that time, people only rented car if they have to go to a different city or a different town. But Ola changed everything by making intra-city travel very affordable to every office-going person, and anyone could book a cab even in the middle of the night in just 5 minutes. And this was something near to impossible, at least in India before Ola came into existence. And this is how Ola disrupted the entire Indian cab service market with a fresh new experience which the Indian consumers had never seen before. And in no time, Ola became the market leader and the revenues of the company only kept growing in the coming years. And during this time, it appeared that Ola was unstoppable and this company was destined for greatness. But then something started happening in the company which changed everything for Ola. Company was firing people, top level management people were resigning and leaving the company. On the Ola mobile app, the rides booked were suddenly getting cancelled very frequently, and most importantly, the investors of Ola were really worried because so far Ola has burnt around 17,453 crore rupees of investors' money, and in spite of burning such huge amount of money, the revenues of Ola had started to shrink or started to fall, and that was really worrying the investors. And as an additional burden, investors were also worried because the company was nowhere close to getting profitable. So now the question comes, what went wrong with India's top unicorn which was believed to be destined for greatness? Let's try to understand. So what if I tell you in the year 2016, a Ola cab driver was earning more money than an average software engineer? And some of you might think this is a joke or I'm kidding, but I'm not. This is actually true. So now many of you might get this question in your mind that how it is possible that a cab driver working for Ola is earning in lakhs while Ola as a company was still making heavy losses. So to answer that question, Ola is a startup just like Zomato or Swiggy which is backed by big angel investors and venture capitalists. So Ola was spending huge amount of money for customer acquisition because for Ola money was never the problem and they had a truckload of investors' money to burn. So Ola gave big discounts to customers like your first ride would be free, discount up to 50% and many more. And this attracted a lot of customers to use Ola cabs, which was a plan to make customers used to and addicted to the comfort of a cab ride compared to the hassle they had to go through a local bus ride or a auto ride. And that's why Ola was giving big discounts and free rides to increase the frequency of a person using Ola cabs. And now to cater this huge demand, Ola also needed a lot of cab drivers to join them and cater the customers whom Ola has lured in with big discounts and free rides. So to make more number of cab drivers join Ola, they started giving unbelievably lucrative incentives to the cab drivers, where every Ola cab driver was getting an incentive of rupees 250 for every ride that was booked irrespective of distance. And in addition, they were also getting 3,000 rupees incentive if they complete 6 rides, 8,000 rupees for 16 rides, and a hopping 12,000 rupees for completing 19 rides in a day. And these incentives were so attractive that many people who were working in companies like Siemens, who had an MBA degree from a UK university, and even many software engineers left their job to become a Ola cab driver. And because of this earning potential as a Ola cab driver, many people even bought multiple cars on loan and hired drivers to drive those cabs for Ola. So it was like a huge party that Ola has thrown, where the customers were getting free rides and big discounts and the cab drivers were enjoying huge and lucrative incentives. But then something happened which Ola or none of of us have imagined in our wildest dreams, which was the COVID pandemic, and the whole country went into a lockdown. And because of this, the income of all the Ola cab drivers went to zero, and now many cab drivers were struggling to manage their expenses, and worse, now they were in debt and were unable to pay their car EMI. And thus Ola failed them to provide any stable income, and the cab drivers were forced to sell their cars and leave the metro cities or bigger cities to work in their hometowns or villages. But today we are far away from the lockdowns. But most of the cab drivers who left Ola during lockdown never came back to Ola. And this has led to shortages of cabs, and because of which the fares and charges have skyrocketed, and because of which now people have again started looking at rickshawalas and public bus and train transportation. And along with the COVID pandemic, there is another big reason which is stopping cab drivers from coming back to Ola. Any guess what is the reason? Exactly right, Ola stopped giving the huge incentives which it gave before to the cab drivers. And of course, this has reduced the losses of Ola as a company, but it also took away the very reason cab drivers were joining and working for Ola. And as a result, most of the drivers who left Ola during pandemic never came back, and also the existing drivers are leaving Ola to work for private cab companies and travel agencies. And this is the reason why your cabs are getting cancelled very often, or you have to wait for longer time for your ride to get confirmed. And responding to this whole situation, the founder of Ola, Bhavish Aggarwal, tweeted on December 2021 claiming to solve the problem as soon as possible. But it appears the problem still continues even today. And also, some of you might be using Ola cabs, and if you're facing that issue even today, then you can put that in the comment section. And now to this whole situation, some believe the problem still persists because Ola's management have lost focus from its cab business, and they are trying to venture into new and unknown businesses where they don't have any prior experience. And there is nothing wrong in exploring new businesses which have potential, but if your existing business is making huge amount of losses, and instead of thinking how to make the existing business profitable, if you are thinking about new and unknown businesses, then many might question the company's management is losing focus. And surprisingly, this is not the first time Ola has lost focus, because Ola has a track record of trying new businesses and failing at them miserably, burning huge amount of investors' money. And some of the examples can be Ola Foods, Ola Money, Ola Cars, Ola Dash, Ola Corporate, and the list goes on. But there was an exception, because when Ola came up with a new idea of Ola Electric, many thought this time it's different, and Ola might just succeed this time in establishing a new successful business apart from its cab service business. But very soon this hope was also shattered, because after Ola launched its electric scooter, for many it appeared that this might become the biggest failure for Ola. For you and me, it might appear very obvious and simple. Ola should focus on its cab business, focus on becoming profitable, and then think about entering new businesses. But sadly, it is not as simple and obvious for Ola. And why Ola is not focusing on cab business, and why Ola is so desperate to enter new businesses? And the simple answer to all these questions and not so simple situation of Ola is valuation. So if you see any company which is selling any product or giving any service would make a certain amount of sales or revenues, and from this sales and revenue, if you minus the expenses and the taxes to be paid, then the company will be left with the profits. So now if you consider an established company or a corporation, then the valuation of this company is determined based on the profits they are earning. If the profits of the company are increasing and growing every year, then the valuation of the company will also increase with the increasing profits. And now if you consider a startup or so-called a loss-making unicorn company, then here the valuation of the company or the value of the company is determined based on the revenues or the sales these companies are making. Which means irrespective of the profits, if these companies are earning more revenues or sales and their sales are increasing and growing every year, then companies like Ola can keep raising more money at higher valuation from investors and venture capitalists. Which means, in simple words, revenue growth or sales growth drives the valuation in startup companies or so-called loss-making unicorn companies. And if the sales of these companies or revenue of these companies stops growing and in the worst case starts falling, then it will also reduce the valuation of the company, which means it will take away the ability to raise more funds to keep funding their loss-making businesses. And this this is what is exactly happening with Ola, where Ola is finding it very hard to grow their revenues from the cab service business because this market is already saturated and there is not much growth left in it. And that's why Ola is running desperately behind new businesses and desperately trying to make them work. And for a brief moment, it appeared that Ola has made a strong comeback and Ola can keep growing its revenue and keep raising more money at higher valuation. Because on August 15th, 2021, when Ola released an advertisement introducing Ola Electric, where Bhavish Aggarwal stood on the roof of Ola Electric's scooter factory and introduced their brand new products Ola S1 and Ola S1 Pro. And personally, when I saw that ad and saw those fancy electric scooters with so many fancy features which costed only about 1 lakh rupees, I thought it was a game changer and I believed in Ola. And like me, there were lakhs and crores of people who believed in Ola, and many people even before the launch pre-booked Ola electric scooters. And the belief of people was so high, when Ola Electrics launched the pre-booking, they were selling 4 scooters every second, and within 24 hours they had more than 80,000 confirmed orders which were worth 600 crore rupees. And at this point of a time, the investors who doubted Ola's destiny to become great again started believing in Ola. And this was the chance for Ola to become one of the greatest companies the Indian startup environment have ever produced. And when everything was looking so good for Ola, Ola just blew this massive opportunity. And what did Ola do? Ola delivered their electric scooters to their customers. And what happened next?
In India, 4 electric scooters have caught fire in 7 days.
This is the S1 Pro electric scooter that burst into flames in the city of Pune. Why are these electric scooters burning?
And just like that, Ola blew away their once-in-a-lifetime biggest opportunity, which could have made Ola one of the greatest company India has ever seen. And just like that, Ola lost all the trust and belief people have bestowed upon it. And now many people who bought these scooters are regretting and might have even vowed never to go back to Ola for electric vehicles. Just like the cab drivers who left Ola and never came back. So what went wrong? How Ola blew away its biggest opportunity of a lifetime? So here is what happened. Ola compromised on quality in a hurry to capture the market at an early stage. First of all, the delivery which was promised within a month was delayed to several months, and the customer were already pissed with the delay. And after a long waiting time, when the electric scooters were finally delivered, it became a perfect fit for a classic meme of what I expected and what I got. Because the features Ola had showcased in the advertisements were plagued with numerous issues, and there were tons of complaints across Twitter which said the scooters were faulty, and worst, even the scooters were catching fire and bursting into flames. And thanks to the poor planning and execution, Ola might have lost their biggest opportunity of a lifetime, which could have been a solution for their revenue growth problem and to continue raising funds at a higher valuation. While some hold Ola's founder Bhavish Aggarwal responsible for this poor planning and execution, because by many Bhavish Aggarwal is accused of giving unrealistic deadlines in Ola Electric, which resulted in toxic work culture. And if you see, in last 2 years, many top level executives have left Ola from different verticals including Ola Cabs, Ola Cars, Ola Electric and Ola Financial Services. And even Ankit Bhati, who is the co-founder of Ola, left Ola in 2020 to start a new company with former colleagues. So it is very clear that Ola is dealing with some serious internal management issues which have to be solved. And many believe that Bhavish Aggarwal needs to fix its existing business before jumping into any new business without any experience. Because in present time it has become very clear that jumping into new businesses to justify their valuation so that they could raise more money from the investors by selling the new business idea as a dream might not work for long. And maybe that is the reason why founders of companies like Oyo and Byju's are focusing more on profitability. So now comes the $1,000,000 question: what can be the future of Ola? So if you see, Ola is still a very strong brand, and if Ola can fix the problems in the future version of electric scooters and make it worthy, then Ola can also make a strong comeback. And here some might think that I am being too optimistic, but hey, come on. Even the great Mr. Ratan Tata failed initially and was about to sell Tata Motors car division to Ford Motors. But then Ratan Tata got a chance and he turned around Tata Motors car division, and 20 years later the company is stronger than ever. But here as well some might say that again I am being too optimistic because I can't compare Bhavish Aggarwal to Ratan Tata. Because he is Ratan Tata the Great, and there is only one Ratan Tata, and Ratan Tata can do anything. And if you say so, I would agree, but you should also remember that Bhavish Aggarwal was that poor traveler who was left abandoned in the middle of the road by a cab driver. And from that middle of the road, Bhavish Aggarwal have come a long way and have built a $1 billion business. And if a person like Bhavish Aggarwal who turned a bad travel experience into a $1 billion business, then he might not miss the next chance to make a comeback. And of course, the road is not easy, there is tough competition, and there are established brands like Bajaj, TVS, Hero and many more, but still Ola has a chance to make a comeback. So I will leave you with this positive note and a question for you. And the question is, in future, if Ola fixes their electric vehicle problems, would you be willing to buy those electric scooters? Or you would prefer buying electric scooters from companies like Bajaj, TVS or Hero, which are long established brands in the two-wheeler market? So answer this question seriously and sincerely in the comments section, and your choice will decide whether Ola will succeed or not. So that's it for today guys, and I hope this video was informative, and if you think so, then please press the like button, which will make YouTube algorithm happy and help this video to reach as many people as possible. And also press the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you get an immediate update as soon as we upload the next video. So I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care and Jai Hind.